There's a story I want to share with you. It's the story of a woman named Sarah, and perhaps you'll see a part of yourself in her. On paper, Sarah had everything anyone could wish for. A stable job, good friends, she was smart, and she never stopped trying. Every morning she'd wake up, look in the mirror, and recite her affirmations with fierce determination. I am a magnet for money. I am worthy of a fulfilling love. The wall in her office was covered in vision boards, shimmering with images of her dream house, luxurious vacations, and the ideal partner. Every evening she'd spend 30 minutes meditating, visualizing the life she craved, down to the smallest detail. Sarah was doing all the things. She read every book, took every course, but every night as silence fell, she would lie in bed with a familiar emptiness. A question echoed quietly in her mind. Why isn't it working yet? Her reality seemed stuck. The opportunities she hoped for would pass her by. Her relationships remained in limbo, and her bank account was just enough to feel okay, but never prosperous. She felt like she was endlessly pushing a giant boulder uphill, tired, exhausted, and beginning to doubt herself. Do you recognize that feeling? The feeling of trying relentlessly, of doing everything right, only to feel like you're fighting against your own reality. But what if I told you that all of that effort, all of Sarah's trying, was the very thing holding her back? What if I told you that the path to your dream life isn't a grueling battle, but a dance of allowing? In today's video, we're not going to add any more complicated routines to your life. Instead, we're going to unburden ourselves from the unnecessary weight. Our next 30 minutes together will be like an intimate conversation, and I promise you 3 things. First, you will understand with deep clarity why the law of attraction, methods you've tried in the past, didn't work, and you'll realize it was never your fault. Second, we will decode the true language of the universe. It's not the language of words or images, but the language of vibrational frequency and coherence. This is the missing key in most teachings. And finally, you will learn simple, gentle techniques to shift from a state of efforting and grasping to one of embodying and allowing, turning your body and your energy into a living magnet that effortlessly draws to you what you desire. Before we dive into the details of this magical quantum map, let's just pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in and a long, slow breath out. In this very moment, ask yourself honestly, where in my life am I forcing things the most? You don't need to answer right away. Just hold that question in your mind, because the very first thing I want to share with you is the quantum mirror. A principle of physics that is as mystical as it is shockingly practical. It will explain everything about Sarah's story, and perhaps yours too. Let's begin. That feeling of hitting an invisible wall. It's not a sign that you should push harder. It's a sign that you're pushing in the wrong direction. Most of us, especially in Western culture, were raised on the mantra, no pain, no gain. We believe success is a conquest and that exhaustion is a badge of honor. But in the quantum world, in the realm of energy and frequency, trying too hard is like trying to hear a beautiful melody by turning up the static. The harder you try, the less you hear. This is the manifestation paradox. Hustle culture has glorified being busy. It's led us to believe that a packed schedule and a tired body are proof that we're on the right track. We're in a never-ending race for more money, more achievements, more recognition. But compare that feeling to the moments when the best things happened to you. A brilliant idea that flashed into your mind while you were on a walk. A fated encounter that occurred when you least expected it. That's called a flow state. It's effortless, natural, and powerful. It doesn't come from forcing, it comes from alignment. And here is the core mistake so many of us make. We confuse being busy with being effective. We are trying to use the tools of the 3D world, the physical world, to solve a quantum problem. What are 3D tools? Iron will, relentless physical action, control, and grinding it out no matter what. But a quantum problem is solved with different tools: energy, frequency, emotion, trust, and allowing. You can't use a physical sledgehammer to fix a delicate, energetic watch. Let me tell you the story of James. James was a tech startup founder. He was smart, passionate, and worked 100-hour weeks. He lived on caffeine and growth metrics. His company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and he believed the only solution was to work even harder. He missed his daughter's birthday, forgot his anniversary, and his body was constantly sending him distress signals that he ignored. Then, one day, his body made the decision for him. James collapsed from exhaustion. His doctor ordered him to take 2 full weeks of complete rest. No emails, no phone, no meetings. To James, it felt like a death sentence. The first week, he was restless and agitated. But by the second week, with nothing left to do, he started to be. He sat on his porch and watched the clouds drift by. He walked in the woods and listened to the rustling leaves. He wasn't trying to solve the problem. He was simply existing. And then, one quiet afternoon when his mind was at its most empty, the idea came. It wasn't a complicated solution. It was a stunningly simple shift in perspective about his business model, an idea that his previous stress and exhaustion had completely obscured. James returned not with frantic effort, but with a calm clarity. He implemented the change, and within 6 months, his company was not only saved, but it was thriving. James's story shows us a profound truth. Your effort must be placed correctly. The most effective effort isn't directed at changing the outer world. It's directed at calibrating the inner world. The most important work you can do isn't on your to-do list. It's on your to-be list. So if blind effort isn't the answer, what is the language the universe actually understands? How do we shift from turning up the static to tuning into the beautiful melody of the reality we desire? The answer is simpler and more beautiful than you can imagine. It begins with understanding that the universe isn't a vending machine, it's a mirror. For the longest time, we've been taught to treat the universe like a cosmic vending machine. You put in an affirmation, press the button with a meditation session, and then stand there impatiently, waiting for your prize to drop. If nothing happens, you get frustrated, shake the machine, or assume it's broken. But what if the universe is actually a hyper-intelligent mirror, a quantum mirror? It doesn't reflect what you say, it reflects who you are. To understand this, let's look at one of the most magical ideas in quantum physics. Forget the complex equations and just imagine it like this. Imagine the quantum field all around you is a space filled with infinite, invisible waves. Each wave is a possibility, a potential version of reality. There's a wave called your brilliant, successful career. Right next to it is the wave of a stable but boring job. There's a wave for a soulmate relationship, and there's also a wave for loneliness. Vibrant health, illness, joy, sorrow, all of it exists simultaneously, right here, right now, as waves of pure potential. Quantum physics calls this quantum superposition. All possibilities are already here, waiting. So, what determines which wave becomes the reality you experience? You do. You are the observer. Your focus and your energetic state, the sum total of your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and bodily sensations, act as a signal. This signal doesn't create reality out of thin air. It selects a wave from the infinite possibilities and causes it to collapse from an invisible wave into a tangible physical particle, into your real-life experience. You're not writing the story. You're choosing which pre-written chapter to read. Now let's go back to our metaphor. When you think the universe is a vending machine, you operate from a transactional mindset. I meditated for 30 minutes, so the universe owes me a business. Opportunity. It's a relationship based on demand and expectation. But when you understand the universe is a mirror, everything changes. Think about it. When you look in the mirror and see a frown, what do? Do you yell at the mirror, "Smile"? Do you try to negotiate with it? Of course not. The logic is simple. If you want to see a smile, you have to be the one who smiles first. The reflection has no choice but to change, instantly and effortlessly. And here is the key. If the mirror of your life is reflecting lack, the solution isn't to shout affirmations of "I am wealthy" at it. The solution is to turn inward and find and nurture the feeling of abundance, even when your circumstances haven't changed yet. If the mirror is reflecting loneliness, you don't need to tape a picture of a happy couple onto it. You need to become the source of love, acceptance, and wholeness from within yourself. The mirror does only one thing. It perfectly reflects your state of being. It doesn't judge, it only responds. So the important question isn't, how do I get what I want? The important question is, who do I need to become so that my existence naturally reflects the reality I desire? And to answer that, we need to understand, where does the signal that this mirror reads come from? What within us is actually broadcasting? The answer lies deeper than your thoughts. It lies within your nervous system. So, if the quantum mirror simply reflects our state of being, the million-dollar question is, what inside of us is actually broadcasting that signal? It's not just your surface-level thoughts, it's deeper than that. The true broadcasting station, the thing that is constantly sending the most powerful messages out into the quantum field, is your nervous system. Think about it. You can whisper, "I am wealthy" all day long, but if your nervous system is screaming, "We are in danger," which signal do you think the universe receives louder and clearer? Inside each of us is the autonomic nervous system. Think of it as your body's automatic operating system, managing everything from your heartbeat and breathing to your reaction to the environment. This system has two primary modes, and which mode you're in determines the frequency you broadcast. The first mode is the sympathetic nervous system. This is our ancient survival software, also known as the fight, flight, or freeze mode. It's activated when the brain perceives a threat. The problem is, this ancient part of our brain doesn't distinguish between a real danger, like a tiger, and modern stressors, like a deadline, an unexpected bill, or even a social media notification. When you're in this state, your body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Your energy contracts. The frequency you broadcast is one of scarcity, fear, and insecurity. This is the frequency of the statement, "I need to get it to be safe." The second mode is the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the safe, connect, and create mode. It's the rest and digest state. When you're here, your body heals. Your mind expands. You feel peaceful and connected. The frequency you broadcast is one of abundance, trust, and prosperity. And this is the frequency of the statement, "I already have it." Now you understand why your best ideas, your most brilliant breakthroughs, almost never come when you're stressed out and staring at a computer screen. When do they come? When you're in the shower, when you're driving with no destination, when you're walking in the park. Why? Because those are the moments your nervous system is allowed to shift from survival mode to creative mode. You release control, and that's when magic has the space to enter. Relaxation isn't laziness. In the quantum world, relaxation is a superpower. So how can we consciously switch the modes of our operating system? How do we move ourselves from a state of screaming in danger to a state of peaceful abundance? I'm going to show you an incredibly simple but profoundly powerful tool. It's like a manual reset button for your nervous system. It's called box breathing. Navy SEALs use this exact technique to stay calm in the most extreme situations. Let's do it together right now. It's very simple. Sit up straight and relax your shoulders. Start by exhaling all the air from your lungs. Now inhale gently through your nose for a silent count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath without tensing for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom of the exhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one cycle. Try to repeat it about 5 times, with just a few minutes of practice. You are sending a direct signal to your brain that says, I am safe. You are manually flipping the switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Regulating your nervous system isn't just a wellness practice. It's a foundational manifestation practice. But this brings up another question. What happens if our thoughts are saying one thing, but our nervous system is feeling another? What happens when the layers of our internal signal are in conflict? How does the universe interpret that scrambled message? We'll decode that in the next section. Imagine you're trying to send an important email to the universe. You write a beautiful subject line, wonderful love. But in the body of the email, you write all about your fear of being hurt, your loneliness, and your insecurities. And to make it worse, you attach a spreadsheet filled with all of your past relationship failures. Now you hit send. Would you really be surprised if you didn't get the response you were hoping for? This is exactly what happens inside us whenever we are out of alignment. Our signal gets scrambled because it's being broadcast from 3 different layers, and often these 3 layers are not in harmony. Let's analyze the letter we're sending out every day. The first layer is the mental layer. This is the captain of the ship. It's what you think, what you're consciously aware of, the affirmations you recite each morning. For example, you look in the mirror and say, I am worthy of a great love. This is your email's subject line, clear and hopeful. The second layer is the emotional layer. This is the ocean your ship is sailing on. It's what you truly feel deep down. It might be that nagging loneliness every Sunday evening, that pang in your heart when you see a happy couple, that familiar fear of rejection that has followed you for years. This is the body of your email, and it's often much more powerful and honest than the subject line. And the third layer, the embodiment layer. This is the hull of your ship. It's the state of your nervous system, your body language. It's the way your shoulders unconsciously hunch a little when you walk into a crowded room, as if to protect yourself. It's your shallow, rapid breathing when you think about your financial future. It's that tightness in your chest when you think about trusting someone. This is the attachment, filled with evidence of past danger and failure. And what is the biggest, most common mistake we make? We spend all our time and energy polishing layer 1. We try to use our thoughts to overpower our emotions and our body. We try to steer the ship, the mind, toward a paradise island, while the ocean, our emotions, is stormy, and the ship's hull, our body, is full of holes. It doesn't work, because the universe doesn't just read the subject line. It reads the entire letter, and it always prioritizes the more authentic and powerful signals, your emotions and your physical state. So what is the real goal here? The goal isn't positive thinking. It's to create coherence. Coherence is when all 3 of these layers are singing the same song. It's when your affirmation, I am worthy of love, mind, is backed by a feeling of open-heartedness and peace, emotion, and expressed through a relaxed, confident body, embodiment. When that happens, you're no longer sending a scrambled letter. You're sending a symphony A clear, powerful, and resonant signal. The quantum mirror has no choice but to reflect that beautiful symphony back to you. Your job isn't to try to drown out the out-of-tune notes, it's to become a conductor, gently, guiding your entire orchestra to play in harmony. But what created this conflict in the first place? Why does our mind say yes, while our heart and body scream no? Who is the hidden conductor leading this chaotic orchestra? The answer lies with the most powerful gatekeeper in your mind, the subconscious. And we're going to meet this gatekeeper. In the next section, imagine this. Your conscious mind is the captain on the bridge, confidently giving orders. We are sailing to the island of prosperity. But your subconscious mind is the entire crew below deck, operating the ship using maps that are 20 years old. Maps that say, that part of the ocean is dangerous. Don't go there. So, who really holds the power? Scientists like Dr. Bruce Lipton often compare our mind to an iceberg. The part you see above the water is your conscious mind, making up only about 5%. This is where your logic, your goals, and your affirmations reside. But the other 95%, the massive part hidden beneath the surface, is your subconscious. It is the storehouse of all your memories, emotions, habits, and most importantly, all of your beliefs. And here is the core thing you need to understand about the subconscious. Its primary job is not to make you happy. Its primary job is to keep you safe. To do that, it operates on a very simple principle. What is familiar is safe. It was programmed when you were very young, through the words of your parents, your experiences at school, and the rules of society. It doesn't differentiate between good or bad, right or wrong. It just runs the programs it was given, because in the past, those programs helped you survive. Let's see this gatekeeper in action. Let's say you're someone who wants to earn more money. Your conscious mind, the 5% captain, is doing everything, right? Taking courses, building a business, networking with people. But let's say that when you were a child, you often heard your parents complain that money is the root of all evil, or rich people are lonely and disliked. Those statements became a map stored in your subconscious, the 95% crew. That map clearly states, wealthy, risky, isolated, risky, unsafe. Now, when a big business opportunity comes along, your captain shouts, excellent, full speed ahead. But the crew, below deck, looks at their old map and panics. Red alert, danger! And what do? They will sabotage the journey. Maybe you'll suddenly feel inexplicably lazy and procrastinate on sending that crucial email. Maybe you'll say the wrong thing in a negotiation. Or maybe you'll suddenly feel overwhelmed with anxiety and back out yourself. That's not you being weak or incompetent. That is your subconscious protecting you from what it perceives as danger. It is vetoing the captain's orders. So how do we communicate with this gatekeeper? How do we give the crew a new map? Can't argue with it using logic. The subconscious doesn't understand logic. It understands the language of images, emotions, and stories. So, we will become storytellers. This technique is called story reframing. Follow these 3 simple steps. Identify and acknowledge. Find a limiting belief that's holding you back. For example, I'm not good at sales. Write it down. Then say to yourself, thank you to this belief for trying to protect me from embarrassment or rejection. This helps you work with it, not against it. Gently. Question. Ask yourself, is this belief 100% true? Has there ever been a time in my life when I convinced someone of something? Where did this belief come from? Does it still serve me? Rewrite the new story. Now, instead of a dry affirmation, write a short, emotionally rich story about the new belief. Old story. I'm not good at sales because I hate bothering people. New story. I'm a passionate connector. To me, selling is sharing a solution I truly believe in, helping to make other people's lives better. Every time I talk about my product, I'm offering a gift, and I feel immense joy and pride when someone receives it. Read this new story every day with as much feeling as you can. Gradually, you are giving your crew a new map, a new voyage that is both exciting and safe. You can't win a battle of wills against your subconscious, but you can absolutely become a master storyteller, gently rewriting its old programs and giving it new, powerful instructions. So once we've started to recalibrate our thoughts, regulate our nervous system, and tell new stories to our subconscious, what's next? Should we use this newfound alignment to push even harder? Or is there one final step, a move of grace and trust? The answer lies in the art of active surrender. The moment we hear the word surrender, many of us feel a sense of fear. We think it means giving up, that it means failure. But it doesn't. Surrender isn't about dropping your desire. It's about dropping your desperate grip on the how and the when. Imagine you're at a 5-star restaurant of the universe. Miracles are always on the menu. You can order anything you want. Now let's watch how 3 different types of diners react after placing their order. Type 1, the controller. This person orders the successful career. The moment the waiter leaves, they become anxious. Every 2 minutes, they run to the kitchen, peer over the chef's shoulder and ask, "Are you sure you're using the right recipe? Why is it taking so long? Is it going to be okay?" They are sending out a crystal-clear energy, the energy of doubt and mistrust. They don't believe the kitchen is capable of doing its job well. Type 2, the giver-upper. This person also orders the successful career. They wait for 5 minutes, see no activity, and sigh, thinking, "I knew it. I'm not worthy. This meal is never going to come." Then they get up and leave with an empty stomach and a heart full of disappointment. The energy they send out is one of hopelessness and unworthiness. And type 3, the co-creator. This person also orders the successful career. They place their order with clarity, confidence, and gratitude. Then they return to their table, fully trusting that the most talented chefs are preparing their meal. What do they do while they wait? They enjoy themselves. They sip their water, have a wonderful conversation with their friends, and listen to the beautiful music in the restaurant. They are completely relaxed, enjoying the present moment, knowing that the best is on its way. The energy they send out is one of trust, worthiness, and joyful reception. Do you recognize yourself in any of these diners? The lesson here is incredibly profound. Your job is to place your order clearly, which means sending a coherent signal. The universe's job is to prepare and deliver it in the best, most efficient, and most surprising way. Don't do the universe's job. Active surrender means active on your part. You have done the inner work. You've tuned your frequency. You've rewritten your subconscious stories. Surrender on the rest. You hand over the logistics to a higher intelligence. You trust the process. Your desperate grip comes from the fear that if you don't control everything, it will all fall apart. But in the quantum world, it is that very grip that is choking the flow, preventing the magic from reaching you. So if we've placed our order and surrendered, does that mean we just sit around and wait? What role does action play in this picture? This is where we distinguish between 2 very different types of action. Action that comes from effort and action that comes from alignment. And that is exactly what we will explore next. What's the difference between frantically rowing a boat against the current and effortlessly surfing a wave? Both are actions, but one will drain you to the point of exhaustion, while the other will leave you feeling exhilarated and alive. On the journey of manifestation, there are 2 types of action you can take. The first type is forced action. This is action that comes from fear, lack, and the feeling of "I have to make it happen." It feels heavy, like another to-do on your list. This is the action of rowing against the current. You use all your willpower to fight against reality, and as a result, you feel tired, stressed, and often disappointed. The second type is aligned action. This is action that comes from trust, inspiration, and a deep inner connection. It feels light, exciting, like something you get to do, a joy. You're not pushing, you're being pulled. It's like a surfer who feels the perfect wave coming. He only needs a few gentle paddles to catch it, and then the wave carries him spectacularly. Let's take a very common example. You want to meet a life partner. Forced action would be, every night you force yourself to spend 2 hours swiping on Tinder, even when you're exhausted. You see it as a job, a numbers game, and every time it doesn't work out, you feel more discouraged. The energy behind this action is, I have to do this or I'll be alone forever. Now, let's see what aligned action looks like. You're not focused on finding someone. You're focused on your own joy. Then one day you suddenly get a strange urge. I really want to take a pottery class. The thought comes naturally and makes you feel excited. You have no agenda of meeting someone there. You go because you genuinely want to. And then, in that space of authentic joy and creativity, you meet someone who resonates with your exact frequency. See the difference? Forced action comes from the head. Aligned action comes from the heart, from an impulse of the soul. So how do you recognize an action as aligned? Use your most powerful internal compass, your body. Before taking a significant action, try this. Pause for a moment. Place a hand over your heart. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this action coming from love or from fear? Listen for the answer, not with your ears, but with your senses. If it comes from fear, you will feel a contraction, a feeling of heaviness, pressure, a tightness in your chest. If it comes from love or joy, excitement, curiosity, you will feel an expansion, a feeling of lightness, excitement, a sense of flow in your body. This compass never lies. Learn to trust it. Your job isn't to do more, but to listen more exquisitely. To become an expert at recognizing and following the inspired nudges the universe sends your way. But one final and most difficult question remains. I've done all of this. I've tuned my energy. I've listened to my heart. I've acted on inspiration. But why hasn't my reality changed yet? This is the moment most people give up, and it's when we need to talk about the reality lag. Imagine you're a gardener. You've found a precious seed. You've prepared the soil carefully. You've planted the seed and watered it with all your love and trust. But then the next day you look at the ground and you only see dirt. The day after that, still just dirt. This is the moment most people give up. They panic, assume the seed is dead, and start digging up the soil. They don't realize that just beneath the surface, the sprout is pushing up with all its might, and they quit right before it breaks through the ground. You have to understand this. The physical world, our 3D world, has a denser energy. Therefore, it always has a certain lag compared to the energetic world of your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Imagine you are the captain of a massive ocean liner. When you decide to change course, you turn the wheel decisively. But the ship doesn't instantly pivot 90 degrees. Because of its immense inertia and weight, it needs time. It will slowly, gradually turn to follow your new command. Your new frequency is you turning the wheel. Your reality is that massive ship. Don't panic if the ship doesn't immediately change its course. The command has been sent. The turn has begun. And what is the fatal mistake during this phase? It's panic. When you don't see immediate results, the fearful mind starts to speak up. See, it's not working. I knew it. This stuff is nonsense. I've failed again. And when you listen to that voice, what do? You revert to your old state, the state of doubt, anxiety, and lack. You begin to plant seeds of doubt in the very soil you so carefully tended. Energetically, this is like turning the ship's wheel toward the east and then panicking and turning it right back toward the west. You have single-handedly neutralized the entire process. You are telling the universe, never mind, I cancel my order. Please engrave this in your mind. The lag is not a sign that it isn't working. The lag is a necessary and essential part of the creative process. It is not a punishment. It is a test and an invitation. That invitation is, can you hold the frequency of belief even without external evidence? Can you be the prosperous version of yourself even when your bank account hasn't changed yet? Can you feel whole and complete love even when you're going home alone? Can you feel gratitude for perfect health even when your body needs time to heal? This period is where the real work happens. This is where you strengthen the muscle of your faith. This is the incubation period. You can't crack open the egg every day to see if the chick has formed yet. You just have to trust and keep it warm. Mastering the reality lag is what separates an amateur manifester from a conscious co-creator. So, what specifically can we do every day to hold the frequency during this waiting period? How do we turn these theories into a daily practice? That's when we need our daily quantum tools, and that will be our final piece of the puzzle. So what specifically can we do every day to hold the frequency during the challenging reality lag? How do we turn all these theories into a daily practice, a way of life? This is where we need a simple toolkit. Becoming a master manifester isn't about a 3-hour ritual. It's about the small, consistent frequency adjustments you make throughout your day. Today, I'll give you 3 tools from that quantum toolkit. They are simple, they don't take much time, but they are game changers. Tool number 1, the 5-minute morning future feeling. This might be the most important 5 minutes of your day. Most of us are taught to read our list of goals, but reading is a mental activity. Layer 1. To create coherence, we need to invite our emotions, Layer 2, and our body, Layer 3, to the party. How to do it? Every morning, before you touch your phone, do this. Sit up, find a quiet place. Close your eyes and choose one goal, one core desire that is most important to you right now. Now don't think about it. Ask yourself this question: how would I feel if this were already true? What is that feeling? Is it a sense of relief washing over your shoulders? Is it a feeling of freedom bubbling up in your chest? Or is it a deep, quiet joy? Spend a full 5 minutes immersing yourself in that feeling. Let your physical body memorize this state. You are starting your day not from a place of lacking and needing, but from a place of already having and being grateful. You are setting your energetic tone for the entire day. Tool number 2, the pattern interrupt. This tool is your emergency brake for the negative thought loops and anxiety spirals that show up during the day. When you're worrying, you're in a negative hypnotic trance. To break out of it, you need to disrupt the pattern with a physical action. How to do it? The moment you realize you're caught in a negative thought spiral, I'll never be able to do this. Everything is going wrong. In your head or out loud, say, stop. Immediately change your physical state. Jump up, shake your whole body for 10 seconds. Clap your hands loudly. Go splash cold water on your face. Anything that can break the body's inertia. After you've interrupted the pattern, stand up straight, take a deep breath, and ask this powerful question out loud. What frequency do I choose to tune into right now? This tool isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about reminding yourself that even in the most difficult moments, you always have a choice. You are taking back control from your automatic state and becoming a conscious chooser of your frequency. Tool number 3, the evidence log. This final tool is how you train your brain to look for magic instead of looking for problems. Our brains have a mechanism called the reticular activating system. Simply put, whatever you focus on, you will see more of. If you focus on what's not working, you will only find more evidence of failure. We're going to reverse that. How to do it? Every night before you go to sleep, take out a journal. Write at the top of the page, evidence that the universe is supporting me. List at least 3 things, no matter how small, that happened that day. For example, found a parking spot right in front of the store. An old friend called right when I needed them. Heard my favorite song on the radio. Received an unexpected compliment. This practice will train your brain to become a hunter for synchronicity and goodness. It will strengthen your faith during the reality lag, because every single day you will have clear evidence that you are not alone. You are being guided. These 3 tools, the morning feeling, the daytime interrupt, and the evening log, are the 3 pillars of your daily quantum practice. They are simple but profoundly deep. They transform you from a passive hoper into an intentional broadcaster. These tools are your practice. But beyond all the tools, there is one final, beautiful truth to embrace. A truth that will tie everything we've talked about together and solidify your new identity as a creator of your own reality. We've traveled a long journey together in these last 30 minutes, from realizing the paradox of effort to understanding the universe as a mirror, listening to the broadcast of our nervous system, decoding our scrambled signals, talking to our subconscious gatekeeper, all the way to learning the art of surrender, aligned action, and holding faith. All of these pieces, when connected, lead us to one final, liberating, and beautiful truth. That truth is this: you are not a passive receiver of a random reality. You are the powerful broadcaster shaping the quantum field with every thought, every feeling, and every breath. The world isn't happening to you, it's responding from you. So, it's time. It's time to stop fighting with the image in the mirror. It's time to stop analyzing, criticizing, or trying to change the reflection. Start by loving, trusting, and becoming the person you want to see in it. Give yourself the peace you seek, embody the abundance you crave, be the love you wish to receive. The change isn't out there. It's not in another job, another city, or another partner. It's right here, right now, inside of you. And if you're ready to stop forcing and start aligning, hit that subscribe button to join Quantum Energy Shift. This isn't just a channel. It's a community, a space for conscious co-creators just like you. And before you go, do one last thing to activate your new frequency. In the comments below, tell me one frequency you are choosing to broadcast this week. Is it peace? Is it abundance or clarity? Let's declare it together. Let's plant your first quantum seed right here, right now. Thank you for sharing your energy in this space today. Keep aligning, keep trusting, and keep being the magnificent creator that you are. I can't wait to see you again.